Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. We've got an awesome one for you today, but before we get into it, I want to tell you that I plan on destroying some records. Sound interesting? Stay tuned to the end of the show to find out what I'm talking about. Welcome to Record-ology. If you were anything like me, at this point, your 12-inch LP records are on point. Inner sleeves, outer sleeves, everything well protected. But what about your 7-inch records? Then welcome to the club, because that's exactly how it is for me. So my 45s have lived in various states of, I don't know how to say it. Basically, some have been stacked. These are some of my dad's 45s from when he was a radio DJ in the I almost said the 40s. Sorry, Dad. In the 70s, and they've always existed as a stack since I was a child. When I got that Fisher-Price record player, this is literally what I played on it. These records, a stack used to be taller. I don't know what's happened to it, but this is kind of where it's at right now. And so for me, these records were always something you just handled. I mean, it was like, I knew enough to, go like this, but at the same time, we've talked about the design of a 45 before. See how the centers are thicker. They have a center hub design for the idea being that they would be used in a changer or a jukebox. And they're literally designed to be stacked like this to a certain extent, because you can see the playing surfaces at the top of these ones are actually not touching, because these are not warped. But if there's any warpage, obviously they're going to touch. But there's no reason to store them like this if you have the proper supplies. So today, we are actually going to look at some really cool supplies for 7-inch records, 45s, and 10-inch records as well. And no, I'm not going to make you watch me sleeve 200 records. I just want to show you some of these products, and we'll put a few of them on. We'll try them on. It seems weird. We will attempt to use some of these products and see what we think. These are from a company, new to me, company called Square Deal Recordings and Supplies. I got a nice big box full of goodies that I'm excited to try out. And I thought this would be exciting. We've talked about accessories in the past, but this is a company that we haven't really reviewed their stuff before. So we've got poly-lined 7-inch record sleeves, red paper sleeves. We have 7-inch outer sleeves for, records where you actually have, a cover to go with it, which for me it's definitely, most of mine don't have that. Let me just say that. Let me pull up something else that does. So like this, I can actually, use an outer sleeve in this case for this record. And obviously an inner sleeve would be helpful too, because it's just sitting there in this harsh cardboard, which is not ideal. Then there is a pack of 7-inch inner sleeves that are round bottom sleeves, which is really, really cool. I'll probably use these for those. We've got a 100 pack of 7-inch record inner sleeves. Again, these are paper ones, so I'll put them there with those other paper ones. And for our 10-inch records, we have inner sleeves, and everything seems really good. 3 mil thickness, high density polyethylene, which is industry standard material and quality, and I'm really excited to check it out. 10-inch record outer sleeves. Really excited for these because of these guys, these 10-inch LPs. Again, that have nothing on the inside to protect the record other than the cardboard, and nothing on the outside to protect this. And the outer sleeve is important because, these things are sliding back and forth, and this one still has kind of a good polish on, a good, shine. But that, fades over time and it gets worn, and, see all of this stuff up here? That's from the outer cover just rubbing against stuff. So that'll be really nice. This is, exciting stuff. Here are some 10-inch paper inner sleeves. Now, you always want to go with a plastic lined or polyurethane lined sleeve, but if you can't do that, then a paper sleeve you know, is definitely an improvement over nothing. And for my 10-inch record, this is kind of a sad state like my 7-inch records. You know, I have some of these, you know, paper sleeves. This is a good, you know, sort of generic one. I've got a bunch of 10-inch records that are in historic sleeves, like these cool ones right here. But it's a really thin, sort of crinkly paper. A lot of these have rips and tears, and they're so thin that, you know, it's not much protection. So having a good quality modern day sleeve like this will be a much improved thing. Now for these, you'll definitely, at least I will, I'm going to hold on to these even though I'm going to transfer the records to the modern sleeves. I want to hold on to the historic ones and, you know, keep them as well. So I think that's an important thing. We also have some black. These ones are poly lined 10-inch sleeves, so that's really good. What I think is really cool too is I got, well, let me show this first. They also have this really cool box, and I'm going to back up just a little bit. So this box comes flat, and you just kind of, you know, assemble it. It's pretty easy to do. Even I could figure it out. And there's the instructions right there, actually. And it's branded squaredealonline.com, and it's perfect for holding your 7-inch records. Again, for storage, it has a lid too. And I'm already thinking, you know, remember those sleeves? Remember those stickers that we got from that canvas record player from Victrola? And I'm like, where on the earth can I put stickers? I think I finally found a place that would be acceptable and worthy of stickers. So we'll have to definitely do that. So yeah, that's really, really cool. Because right now my 7-inch records are living in like tubs and random boxes. And these ones are still stacked. But again, I just don't have an infinite amount of, you know, storage that's available for this stuff. They also include a really nice thank you note. I love this. Your order was pulled by Joe. Your order was packaged by Joe. Your order was shipped by Joe again. I love the sense of humor. Really, really cool. So I thought that we would take a look at this, and you know, the prices seem to be really good. Everything here was very reasonably priced. So I thought that, you know, this would be something good that for a fairly small amount of money, you know, we can make an investment in our collection and go from this to something that's a little bit more refined. Another thing too is mixed in with my 7-inch records, if you're anything like me, you're going to have a lot of kids records and whatnot, a lot of golden records, 5-inch records, 6-inch records, and, you know, getting them into something like this is going to be better than up here, because I honestly have some records that I don't have enough sleeves, and so I've got, you know, naked records kind of between two sleeved records, and that's not good. That's not ideal. So the 45s, the 10-inch records are definitely not getting the love that the LPs are, and we need to change that. So let me go ahead and unpack all of these, and we'll kind of look at each one individually. Okay, so I've got everything unwrapped, taken out of the package, and I thought we would, you know, look at the build quality, the materials, all that good stuff. I also saved a couple of the inserts just so we could take a look at a couple different things here. So these are for inner sleeves here. They are static free. They are stabilized polyethylene, 3 mil thickness, flush cut with a slight lip for easier insertion. That's huge. Very important if you're doing a lot of these. You know, you appreciate the small touches. This was for the 10-inch records, and a little blurb about supporting your local record store and information on Square Deal, which I think is really cool. Now on the paper sleeves, they are acid-free, heavy-duty paper. Again, a lip for a, you know, easier insertion, and, you know, so far I'm pretty impressed. So let's sort of start left to right. I'm going to start with this 10-inch paper sleeve here, and it feels soft to the touch. This one feels a little thinner than some of the other paper sleeves that I've encountered for LPs. Not worrisome in a worrisome way, but just, you know, making note of it. But it feels very soft. It feels noticeably softer, even though it's a little thinner. This obviously is lined with a soft polyurethane or polyethylene. And again, nice soft paper. I feel like it's about the same weight as that paper. And then the lining, you know, obviously very soft as well. This is great. Very excited to try these out. Here is one of the 7-inch paper sleeves. I love the lip. See, that's really important. These kinds of details, very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. Again, that feels on par. Now the black paper feels a little thicker, a little heavier duty. And again, I don't think that it's going to really matter that much in terms of the thickness of the paper, but when you're looking at materials, you're always thinking thicker, sturdier, etc., etc. Here is another paper sleeve. I mean, everything is glued down tight. All of the seams seem well done. And again, this, you may say this is silly, you know, you're being really, you know, obsessive about this level of detail, but you invest in records, and this is funny because those of you that have been around for a long time will be like, this guy's talking, he's going to tell us about investing in records. Because my whole mantra when I got started was, for the most part, records aren't valuable. You don't need to freak out about them. You know, you're not going to own the only copy of a recording. It can be found elsewhere. It's already been digitized. I would say that I'm just open and honest like I always am. I would say that my opinion is slightly changed, especially since my wife made a significant investment in a record that I've been watching last night. And I'll be sharing that in the coming weeks, coming days. You do start to find very special stuff, even from a historic standpoint. Yeah, it may not be the only copy, but you want to maintain your investment. So I will say that. You know, back when I started this channel, almost everything was dollar store vinyl, throwaway vinyl, you know, just what a lot of people call junk vinyl. And I was only interested in the historic nature of it. So taking care of and preserving records has become more important to me over the last few years. Okay, so this is the little rounded. Very nice. Rounded obviously is good because, you know, when you put a record in a sleeve, the corners, especially when you insert it into a case like this, you put the record in there, it's going to have a tendency to curl up in the corners, which is really, really annoying. And it crinkles up and it wrinkles, and it'll be really nice to, you know, have this record occupy this whole space. So it's, you know, completely rigid going in there. And that's just, you know, a nicer touch. Alrighty, here's another inner sleeve. This is a 10-inch inner sleeve. This seems to be a different type of plastic or a different, you know, thickness. I think it's all polyethylene. And it's interesting they mention it's, you know, it doesn't sweat, which I never think of plastic as sweating. So, but apparently it's constructed in a way that protects the records good. So, you know, only time will tell long term from an archival standpoint. But this does seem thicker than these ones, and it seems thicker than what, you know, comes into the built-in ones. This is more of like a tissue consistency because the rigidity is provided by the paper. Whereas this is, you know, both rigid and soft and protective all at the same time. And then finally here we have a 10-inch outer sleeve. I don't know if we talked about this, but this same material, just different sizes here. It's clear. It's, you know, you can see what you're looking at. It has a nice slippy kind of low abrasive quality to protect what's in it and to allow you to insert and remove records from your shelf or box or whatever easily. Just checking in, I have found that these ones actually work really good for records that are in a box. So for instance, this version of the Glenn Miller Limited Edition Volume 1, I just had them stacked and a paper sleeve wasn't fitting in the tray so well. So I've been using those. Now, some of these don't really need a sleeve because they're separated by a smooth sheet of paper. In fact, every record here in this set is separated by this paper. So in this case, I wouldn't feel it necessary to fit a sleeve in there because I feel like they're reasonably well protected. But in the case of this set, definitely. Okay guys, that took a lot longer than expected and the materials didn't go as far as I thought they would. So buy more than you think you need. As you can see, here's my 78s. My really, really prized records, I put on the lined black sleeves, which are definitely my favorite, although the white ones were fine. I kept a couple of the sleeves I had because they were in fine condition, and then all the historic ones just empty I have kind of here at the end. Very good product, very, very good. Now, in terms of the 45s, I didn't get around to that. I didn't have enough of those smaller sleeves, and I'll show you why in a minute. But I was able to make really good progress sort of downsizing the footprint on a lot of this stuff. I've got all of my 45 albums in one tub now. completely freed up this tub, so I have a place for my 8 tracks, which I didn't have previously. I did have a little bit of leftovers. These are all the 45 leftovers. Again, not enough to tackle that stack with. I had a couple 78 sleeves and a couple 10-inch inner and outers, but pretty much I used it all. I want to show you up here how much better this looks. I got all of my non-album 45s in this one box, so this worked really, really good. The rounded sleeves ended up, you know, pretty much exclusively being used in this scenario, so that was really, really good to have. And overall, the quality was fantastic. I just wish I had more of it. So I wasn't joking when I said I plan on destroying some records. So here's the deal. I thought we'd do a show on various turntables or devices that either have been rumored to or proven to destroy your records, and sort of do a mashup to see which one causes the most damage. There might be a suitcase record player involved. There might be a certain slot-in record player involved. And there may even be a record runner type of record device involved. That's going to be this Wednesday, but you're not going to want to miss that. So definitely stay tuned for that. Now, in terms of today's show, I hope you found it enjoyable and informative, as did I. I'll have links in the description below. These products are really, really good. Like I said before, I just wish I had stocked up on more because I went through it faster than I thought I would. So that would be my recommendation. But anyway, that's going to do it for now, guys. Happy record hunting, happy record maintaining, sorting, cleaning, organizing, storing, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time.